Connie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you.
Okay. It's not 3 o'clock yet. Okay, we have 3 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. Was the meeting properly noticed?
Yes.
Okay, clerk will take roll, please.
West, Turco, Grabarski, Podolsky, and Paler's online.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Yes, Supervisor Postowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for me. I just have a comment. Citizens and I are concerned of members of this committee who may be canceling out the vote of the people who I, Supervisor Pozdolski, the elected official of Newchester. Furthermore, there have been recent presentations within this committee misrepresenting the citizen members, Barb Morgan and Mary Lou Paler, as county supervisors. Obviously, there is at least excuse me, obviously there is at the very least confusion of the true titles of the committee members, which may compromise proper representation of the people of Newchester and Adams County, and may compromise the public relations and representation. Barb Morgan and Mary Lou Paler seem like very nice ladies. I'd like to strongly recommend that they continue to enjoy their retirement. But with these concerns that I'm expressing at this time, I'm going to motion to strike the 2 citizen members, Mary Lou Paler.
That's out of
And
order.
Barb
I mean,
Morgan
that's
from
not
this
on the
committee.
agenda. That's not on the agenda.
That's a roll call, Mr. Chair. This is
No,
roll
it
call.
isn't.
These are members of the roll of the
Supervisor
committee.
Pozdolski, you're out of order. You got to listen,
Can you
please.
tell me
No,
how, please?
we will research that and we'll tell you, but they are citizen members. They are listed on the committee and they are set that way in the board rules.
No, I'd like to motion to strike them.
Well, you can't do that.
I'm making a motion right now to
You
strike
can't
them.
do that. You're out.
Oh, I can motion
It's not
anytime.
on the agenda.
It's a roll call.
No, it's a roll call, just takes a voice vote. It's not an action item. It's not removing that. You can't, it's just a
Mr. Ch-
role is saying who's here and who's not. So
Mr. Chair, I challenge
no,
this.
you're out of order. So, I mean, we're not gonna title that one. We'll have Corp Counsel was ill, so she's not here today. I'll have her explain that research that and explain that to you, but I
But
would
could
think you're out of order.
is somebody here to explain that a little more?
No, we're
Is
just
there
gonna
any
move on.
Corp
Supervisor
Counsel?
Kozlowski, we're gonna move on.
I'd just like to know
Well,
why.
I
how.
told you we'll do that later, but we're gonna move on.
Can I get more explanation, please?
No, I mean, no, I mean, you can ask for a motion to override my objection and my out of order. But you have to have a majority vote of the rest of the board to do that.
Mr. Chair, I'm gonna call you out of order.
So if you want to take it to the board, the committee, we can do that.
I believe this is within our,
I
The
don't think as a
reasonable
roll
rules.
call, I don't think so. The roll call is just taking the roll, just seeing who's here and marking who's here and who's not who's on the committee. The board rules set the committee.
okay,
Sure.
can you tell me, where within this agenda would be the proper time to introduce this motion to strike these two?
There wouldn't be. We'd have to have that as an agenda item. On this agenda, it's not there.
Very well, Mr. Chair. I will consider that in the future.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. We have the agenda before us. Are there any changes on the agenda? I know, I'm seeing no changes in the agenda, the agenda stands approved, so.
Are we gonna take a vote on these?
No, you don't need to.
Mr. Chair,
If there's no changes, we don't have to approve it.
I-
It stands approved because there's no changes.
okay, I'd like to motion to add correspondence to the future agendas. Of this committee.
Correspondence isn't an item on the committee agendas.
But no, Mr. Chair, I think it is reasonable, and as Corporation Counsel pointed out in county board meeting, we had a similar discussion regarding this correspondence issue. It is reasonable for me to motion to add correspondence to future agendas of this committee.
Hmm,
Okay, so I'm making that motion now, Mr. Chair.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, there's no second, so the motion dies for lack of a second. So
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
we had the minutes before us. Are there any changes in the minutes?
Can you repeat that, Mr. Chair?
Minutes are before us. Are there any changes in the minutes? You have a change in the minutes?
Mr. Chair, I don't believe these minutes are accurately depicting what took place in the last meeting. There are some things that have been left out and things that were said, very big things, talking points that weren't put in here. Therefore, I'm not going to approve this. And I motion that we take a roll call or a vote as a committee to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay, I guess Supervisor Pozdolski requested a roll call vote and we can do that, so. Supervisor Kubarski? Yes. Supervisor Pozdolski?
No.
Supervisor Churko? Supervisor, Mark, what's your last name? Sammelstead. Okay. Mary Lou Paler?
Yes,
Okay, and John West is yes, so those minutes are approved. Public participation will allow that as we go through. Next meeting date. We probably, since it's late, we probably don't need one in early April, so looking at May, right? First Tuesday in May. How does that work? Well, the election's on the 1st, right? April 8th, would that work? Right. Oh, yeah, we're looking at May, I guess. May 6th, will that work for everybody? At 3 o'clock? Yes. May 6th at 3 o'clock. Okay. Then we'll move on to,
Eric, on the scheduling. The last meeting date, I understand, was changed to today.
Mhm.
Now, shouldn't that have been declared canceled as it was in the last board session, the county board session? This now, after the county board meeting Tuesday, is into the next session of the county board month. So I believe that the last meeting should have been declared canceled, and it should have been indicated on our calendar as canceled. It would have been on, was it, someone please help me, was it the 5th or the 6th?
wasn't the meeting was removed from the calendar, right?
Yeah, I mean, it should have at least indicated something. The citizens are very confused on what's happening here with the Land and Water Committee, especially the dates and times. There's been a lot of bouncing around. I mean, I believe the citizens would like to see consistency as well as the members here. We should all know about when we're going to have a meeting, what day of the month. Usually it's always fallen in the beginning of the month.
Well, normally it
and
does, but sometimes if
for
there isn't
years.
anything, then we weren't going to maybe have the meeting because there wasn't anything, and then the one grant came up, so then we needed to have it, but there wasn't, it was already at the time of when we would have had the meeting already. So we had to call it then after, this week.
I mean, there wasn't any foresight there on that grant. I mean,
It didn't come up till that week, I think.
Yeah,
That is correct.
but I mean, can you give me more explanation on
Well,
why?
it's sort of like we amended the agenda now
I see
for
that,
this
yeah.
nutrient management grant that just came up that had to be in by the 15th of April.
When was, just curious.
But that
I saw
just
the
came up,
amendment.
just now. And instead of having another meeting in early April, we decided to amend the agenda and cover it in this agenda.
Yeah, it was on there yesterday, the amended agenda item. So I think we had the 24-hour notice.
Right.
So that's good. Just more, I mean, I'd like to motion to put something on that calendar of the last meeting date to indicate something, like they changed it, or I think we should put it cancel. I'd like to motion that we indicate that the last meeting was canceled. I think that would be reasonable on our county calendar.
Okay, there's a motion to put that on the calendar. Is there a second? Okay, that motion fails because lack of a second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, UW extension, then we'll move on to your report, the director report.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
I called on her to do her report, Supervisor Pozdowski.
I mean,
I know I gave it to the director already.
I put my hand up. I'd like to just speak on it.
I gave the floor to the
Can we
director.
call discussion before we?
No, I called for the report, Supervisor Pozdowski. Go ahead, Director.
And I'd be glad to answer questions if he has them when I'm done. Is that okay? Very
Well, I'm sure it wasn't a question. It was a statement that you should go on to the Health and Human Services, but
Okay, well,
but you're not on that committee. You're on this committee. So
I'd like to make a motion,
No.
Mr. Chair.
go ahead.
all right.
Shoot.
Thank you
Motion.
for letting us be here today. The reports that I have to share is that I've been working with the 5 counties across the state or across my area to deal with some open records requests. So that's taken up a bit of time. But we've also had really good work happening, and you'll read that in our educators report here in a few minutes. I did not add anything to the project status report because there wasn't anything that was necessarily related to a project that was completed, because our people are working hard on the projects that they're currently involved in. And we did accept the resignation of our regional crops educator. Natasha Paris has taken a job with private industry. Miller Fertilizer is where she's moved on to. So we will be looking at the possibility of reemploying someone in that position that covers Adams, Green Lake, Washera, Marquette counties, the 4 of those counties. So those are the things that I have to bring before you, in addition to the educator reports, as you can see, and I hope you've taken the time to read.
Any questions on the reports? Supervisor Pozdowski, question on the report?
Mr. Chair, I am going to make a statement. It's not a question. I'm going to motion to strike these presentations from the UW extension from future agendas due to the reason of this is not proper material within Land and Water. And I recommend that they take these presentations as I have to Health and Human Services, where I think they would be better implemented for the citizens of Adams County.
Okay,
It'd
thank you
be
for
more
your
productive.
statement. Thank you for your statement, but help set the agenda, and it's my agenda to set, so, and approve. And I approve this agenda to come onto this board. So.
Right, well, I understand, Mr. Chair.
But we're also part of statute. The Wisconsin statute does assign the extension committee report, or the extension report for the county extension office, to a department that's been determined by the county board rules. So Mr. Pozdowski, that's where it's assigned in Adams County. And so that's why we come here. And I will also go on to share with you that our
I don't agree with that.
I would
Supervisor
like
Pozdowski,
I would also like you to know that our health and well-being educator is in regular conversation with the Human Services Director, and they are actually working on several projects together at this time. So they absolutely know what's going on with our health and well-being educator as she works with. And then our ag educators are obviously in line with our land and water conservation department, and our 42th development educator is doing great work with all the youth in the county. And again, that all falls underneath the statute in Wisconsin statute related to extension and how it fits in county government, because we have a co-funded program. So I thank you all for your time to listen to that. Thanks.
thank you. So we'll move on then to the next items for discussion, land and water report. We're moving on to Supervisor Pozdowski. We're not having a discussion about that. So the first item is the Sand County Foundation grant for the 14-mile watershed. So Colton, are you covering that?
Yeah, I have Heather Gayton, our watershed coordinator, online.
Okay.
Heather, did you just want to go over a brief overview of what this grant would supply for our department?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Yeah, thank you, Colton. Absolutely. So this is a grant. I'm going to be requesting the maximum amount of $800,000 from the Sand County Foundation. These funds are sourced from the RCPP. You can see all of it's laid out here. Thank you, Colton, for providing this resolution. It is these funds are obligated to the Sand County Foundation to support producer-led watershed groups. These are farmers within the watershed that are going to be implementing best management practices to improve soil and water quality. The practice that we're looking to get funded is the implementation of a biochar NRCS practice standard, and this is to sequester carbon and improve water quality. And so this is a new best management practice standard that's never been implemented with a lot of our producers. So we're asking them to try something new. And this is where this Sand County Foundation is offering funds to support with that initiative. So if there aren't questions about it, I'm absolutely happy to answer to the best of my ability.
Supervisor Pozdowski.
Mr. Chair, this might be more of a question for you. Or a statement here. So Connie, can you please scroll up a little bit? Just where we sign the other way, please. A little more. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. Stop right there, please. Thank you, Connie. So I look at this resolution. I notice that it has not been marked by Corporation Council. So this resolution hasn't been approved by Corporation Council prior to this meeting. as it
That-
should be indicated.
That
with
is
an
correct.
X.
That is correct.
Yep. So therefore, it is not a formal, proper resolution that can be approved by this committee at this time in this meeting.
It can be approved by this committee contingent on Corp Council reviewing it.
It's not, it needed to be
Before it
prior to
goes
the
to-
meeting, Mr. Chair.
Before, where does it say that?
It's
Supervisor?
in board rules. It's
So-
in the board rules and we'd be violating board rules if we approve this in this meeting right now. Not approved, it's not been signed by Corporation Council as a formal resolution. It cannot be approved at this time. Thank you.
Any other questions before?
Jen, would a supervisor be able to make a motion to approve the resolution contingent upon a corp council approval?
That's what it would be. We're looking at that, so.
The deadline for this grant to be submitted is March 31st. So that is the deadline for the grant. And so I'm very grateful that the opportunity to pass a motion based upon that contingency is on the table.
Right. So,
Yeah,
yes, Supervisor Samuelstead.
I'll make a motion to approve this resolution contingent upon Corp Council reviewing it. Saying okay.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. They are looking that up though. So any other further discussion?
so we're
We-
voting, just can you clarify the vote we're doing?
The voting would be to approve the resolution contingent on Corp Council's approval. If Corp Council doesn't approve it, then the grant would not move forward because Corp Council did not approve it as is.
That's my understanding. I believe this should have been done before the meeting, Mr. Chair. And it needs to be done actually 24 hours before the meeting. Otherwise, it would have been needed to be indicated as an amendment. So there's a lot of issues with this resolution, and these are some of the examples I have with this resolution.
Well, our Corp Council has been out for the last 3 days. I guess I could refer it over to Tolis Lawn right now and pay them another $1,000 to do
Well,
that.
I mean, there are some things I had questions about earlier in this meeting. I would have appreciated there's some kind of answer from the law firm as well, Mr. Chair.
Do you have it in the rules? Because I was curious, they're looking.
It's gonna take them a while. There's a lot of rules with board rules.
Stated that it wasn't
you know,
a violation
I
of
sat in all the board rules committee meetings at the end of the last session, so a lot of this stuff is fresh in my head.
It is? Okay.
I'm gonna call it the question. I'm gonna call this the question. Motion to call it call the question.
To call a question on the motion
Yep.
to move it forward? Okay, by supervisor, so, okay. Motion to call a question and debate? So, is there a second?
Second.
Calling question. Supervisor Gabarski, motion to end debate on the question. So any, are you writing it down? Okay.
Yeah, we gotta vote.
So all those, roll call vote, ending debate on the motion to approve the resolution contingent on Corp Councils. So Supervisor Barsky, Supervisor Postowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Turco, Supervisor Samuelstead, Supervisor, or, Member Paler,
Yes,
and Supervisor West is a yes. So, okay, debate is ended. So the motion on the floor is to approve the resolution and move it forward to the county board contingent on the Corp Council's review of this resolution. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Those opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay, Supervisor Pozdolski.
Okay. So that motion will move forward contingent on Corp Council's review. The next item then on the agenda. Lost my agenda. Is the NMFE nutrient management grant farm education. So Colton, please.
Yep, and just for the
For the board meeting. It's for the board meeting, not the meeting. Okay, but anyways, so go ahead, Colton.
Yep, so this resolution is for a nutrient management farmer education grant, and I have our resource conservationist Tyler here to kind of give a brief overview of what the grant would cover and what we can supply to our farmers with the money from this grant.
Okay,
Yeah, so the Nutrient Management Farmer Education Grant is a grant that allows local producers to come in and learn about developing their own nutrient management plan, and the nutrient management plan allows them to be able to have a better visual and better tracking of the nutrient inputs, the crops that they are growing, any manure that they may spread on their fields, and it's able to take soil tests, manure analysis, and all have it within one program. And it helps visualize what they are putting on the ground, what they are growing, their yield goals, and utilizing SNAP Plus. And this grant would help throw on a workshop to say that would bring in people, CCAs, farmer education outreach specialists through DATCAP to come in and allow farmers to develop their own plan on their own farm and allow them to become certified to develop their own nutrient management plan that could then be submitted to DATCAP, and also it would open up the door to work with us through the county through our cost sharing program as well. It's a prerequisite as well for the farmland preservation program to enroll with that within the county. Basically, yeah, this grant is what we would have the ability to help throw on a workshop for a lot of the local producers within the county with this grant. And this would cover operational costs, setup costs, and also some of the funds from this grant would be able to stipend attendees for a variety of reasons as well. And I can go into further detail if anybody has any questions on this.
any questions? Supervisor, question Supervisor Pasowski.
Connie, can you once again please scroll to the bottom?
Supervisor Pasowski.
That this has not been approved
Board rules say
by either the
it says prior going to the board meeting. This is not a board
Corporation
meeting.
Council.
It is a committee meeting. So
It needs to be approved prior to the meeting. By
the board meeting.
it's not a formal resolution, Mr. Chair, until it's approved, until it's indicated by Corp Council and our administrator, and neither have done this. Therefore, it's not a formal resolution. We'd be violating board rules if we approve this in this committee at this time. Thank you.
Supervisor Pozdowski, if you look at the board rules here. A little bigger, Connie, please. Right there, rule number 8, resolution and ordinances to be acted on by the county board shall be sponsored by at least one supervisor when offered by committee. So this is the point it's at right now, is it's being offered by the committee. The county manager, administrative coordinator, and the corp council shall review and sign all resolutions and ordinances prior to them being submitted to the clerk's office for the board meeting. It's not going to the board meeting till after we approve this, then they can review it.
No, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor
Ron.
Pozdowski,
Sure. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
and send it on to county board.
Yes.
This motion, okay. Motion is, and second by Supervisor Dave Borowski. So any discussion or questions? Supervisor Pozdowski?
So I'm just going to repeat this. This resolution hasn't been approved prior to this
Supervisor
meeting by
Pozdowski, it
Corporation
doesn't need to
Council
be.
and our administrator.
It doesn't need to be.
It's not therefore a formal
Pozdowski,
resolution.
you're out of order. Continue speaking. It doesn't need to be. We just read it right there, Supervisor Pozdowski.
Mr. Chair.
So any discussion on the ordinance or on the resolution to go forward, not on if it can or not, Supervisor Pistoski. Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay, Supervisor Pozdolski.
We've got that, so.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Next we have the project status report. Are there any questions on that? So that motion passes and the resolution will move on to county board, so. Okay, seeing none. Land and water staff report. Is in the packet. Anything you want to highlight? You or your staff?
Yeah, I don't have it listed as a highlight, but there's a really neat project that we're doing with the solid waste department on one of their parcels over there at the entrance off of 21. We're working with them and some U.S. Fish and Wildlife. We did a site visit there. We're going to be putting in a pollinator or butterfly garden project there. So,
Is that going to be where the living fence is right now, or no? And that's that. Oh,
Right
where
at-
the gate is?
Yep, right at
Oh,
the gate.
okay.
There's a 2-acre parcel right
Oh,
there.
And the living fence is on that parcel that that rent out,
Mhm.
okay, but it's
Yep.
down by the gate, okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So. Okay. Otherwise, then we'll move on to Lake Alliance report.
Okay, just a few things. McGinnis Lake will be treating for curly leaf, pondweed, and they'll be doing harvest in July. Jordan Lake had a fishery, which was well attended. They had lots of good catches. Deep Lake will treat for the EWM in the spring. Goose Lake is working on getting a harvester. They still haven't gotten it, but they're working on it. Town of Jackson, they removed some trees from the public landing and they're working on their fish survey right now. Peppermill Lake, they have their 4th draft of the lake management plan. So they're still reviewing that. And like I say, it's the 4th time. And Parker Lake is still weighing treatment options for this year. So that should be it from that last meeting. Their next meeting is April 1st.
Okay. Thank you. Question, Supervisor Postolski?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. My question would be for Mary Lou Paylor, if I may. So citizens share concerns of many long overdue maintenance issues at Patrick's Lake and feel that this lake and its park has been neglected for the last at least 10 to 15 years. My question to Mary Lou would be why Patrick's Lake is not included in this alliance. There's a lot of issues there. Trees, dead trees at the beach, the boat landing, the boat launch. People are downright afraid to even to be around there, falling debris, tree limbs. Is there any way that we can start taking a look at Patrick's Lake? And
The Lake
I guess I'd
Alliance,
like to
the Lake
motion.
Alliance, the Lake Alliance is not a mandatory alliance. It's an alliance that the lake associations can join. So
Mhm.
if Patrick's Lake isn't part of that,
Right. So,
then that's not Mary Lou's issue.
right. So
And if it's and we've had this discussion before, if it's a county park issue with the Patrick's Lake Park, you need to go to Property and Rec and talk to them about that.
Mr. Chair,
That's where the
I-
county parks.
I'd
are
like to
taken care of.
motion to add Patrick's Lake to the Alliance group here.
We
so there's
can't do that.
maintenance done.
The Lake Association has to do that, Supervisor Postowski.
So can Mary Lou, can you please tell us how we can get Patrick's Lake on this list? We'd
They
like to
have
see
to
more.
join,
maintenance.
they have to join the Lake Alliance.
So how can we go about
We don't do that. We don't do that.
Who can we contact to initiate this, Mr. Chair? I'd just
Whichever
like
on
to
the Patrick's Lake Association.
Right, but are there people blind up there? People are wondering why this lake and park is not being maintained. It's fallen down 10, 15 years ago. It looks like it's been abandoned for at least 15 years.
Supervisor Postowski, I
It's terrible.
told you what you need
It's
to do.
embarrassing.
so, Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Barb Morgan is not available and there's no agriculture report. DATCAP was included, so anything further on DATCAP, so.
No, I'm working with the finance department right now to put together our 2026 staff allocation funds application, which is due on April 15th.
Okay. So. Seeing nothing else, I'll declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you all. So. Very positive.